First of all, thank you for joining us. Today, you'll learn even more about Wix Studio, the web creation platform built for agencies and freelancers, where you can deliver exceptional, high-quality sites in the most efficient way. I'm Aaron from the Wix Studio team, and today we're bringing you how to add motion and depth to your sites with scroll, animations, and interactions. In a moment, you'll meet Santo and Paz from the Wix Studio Wow team, and that's exactly what we'll cover today, how to add that wow effect to your site. So just to be clear, today, we won't be covering how to build all the basic components of your site. So if that's something you want to see, if this is your first time seeing the Wix Studio platform, check out the Wix Studio Academy for some recorded webinars on basic fundamental building skills. Today, the team will be working on an already built site, and we'll show you how to add the effects and interactions to that site. So a few things to run through before we get started on how you can make the most of the experience today. So first, as you see now, we have a chat box. It actually says chat. Here you can connect with one another during the webinar. If you're just joining, make sure when you click it, you choose to everyone. We'd love to have you engage back with us during the webinar. But if you want any questions answered by Santo and Paz or our Wix Studio experts today, make sure you submit your question in the Q&A panel below. So not chat, but specifically Q&A. We'll respond in this panel to questions during the webinar. So you might get notified if you see we've sent a text response. And here you can also vote for any questions you want to hear answered at the end of the webinar. So we will save time to answer your questions. So without further ado, here's Paz and Santo to show you some of the most exciting interactions and effects that you can create on your Wix Studio sites. So over to you guys.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
So, everyone, my name is Paz. I'm a UX designer from the WOW team.
Hi, I'm Santo. I'm head of design also from the WOW team.
So you may ask yourself, what is the WOW team? So we are integrating end-to-end design features for the Wix editors. Basically, our goal is to help you design unique and memorable websites. Our latest feature, which we'll show you today, is the Wix Motion and Interaction System. So what we'll cover today. First, we will talk about why you want to use this motion and interaction system to begin with. Then we will move about what new tools we added to your toolbox inside the Wix Studio editor. Then we will move to customize this animation hands-on practice inside the Studio editor from very basic to more advanced using scroll animation. We will focus today on this one, on the scroll animation. And of course, we will leave some time for question and answers at the end. So this will be the website we will recreate today. Let's take a look. So it's actually this one. If I will refresh that page, you can see my animation. So I have some nice entrance animation here that catch my user attention. I have some ongoing animation on my other elements, like this dot is bouncing. As I'm scrolling down, I have some entrance combined with loop animation. From here, we are focused more on the scroll animation. So all the animation here are linking to my scroll. Actually, we use a different type of animation. As I'm scrolling down, and you can see our last section, this horizontal scroll section. It's my favorite, actually. And all of this we will do together, part by part, and so on today. In the second part, in a few months. Let's go back to the presentation. So let's talk about why you want to use this motion system to begin with. So we have here three main reasons. The first one is visual feedback, such as micro animation. Of course, animation helps to improve our site user experience. and to lead our our users' attention in their journey inside our sites. Then, of course, animation is a powerful tool in order to telling a story, especially when we are talking about scroll. And again, we will focus on scroll today. And visual language, of course. Animation are part of our visual language, and we need to use them in consistency to our brand and to our visual language. Let's talk about what new triggers we added to the toolbox, what new tools we added. So first we have the entrance animation. With entrance animation, the animation just play once when the element appear in the screen. Actually, you had this trigger before, but we added some new capabilities. You have a totally new library of animation and new presets and new customizations. Then we have a loop. This is totally new type of animation. The animation will play across all of the time you are inside the website without stopping. And then, of course, scroll. So the animation is linked to the scroll of the website. If I will go for this website, for example, it will up in a moment. Okay, so I have this text. If I will scroll up, you can see my text is moving from left to the right. If I will scroll down, it will move to the other direction according to the speed of my scroll. Please. So we have also click, of course. This one is from the field of interactions, actually. So once I'm clicking I'm clicking the defined element, and the element will play the animation. And also hover, this one is also from the field of interactions. So while I'm hovering about the defined element, the animation will play. So in summarizing, we currently have 5 types of triggers in Wix Studio: entrance, loop, scroll, hover, and click. Today we will focus on the first 3 triggers: the entrance, loop, and scroll. And that's it. I think it's a good time to move to the editor into hands-on practice. Santo will take it from here, and I will join you later. So this is our editor.
Thank you, Paz.
Yeah.
So, like Paz mentioned before, this is our website. And we're going to build it step by step. I will explain why to use the animation and how to use them. So as you can see, we have the first section. We have the title that we want. It will get most of the focus. So I will just select text. I will go to the panel. As you can see, if I go to interaction, I have the 5 triggers that Paz talked about them earlier. In this case, I will go to entrance. In entrance, like the rest of the trigger, we have presets that we build especially for this trigger that work very well. In this case, I will choose the tilt. I will go to adjust animation. And here I have more properties that I can change. I have the direction, I have duration, I have delay, and I will just change the easing to ease out back. Oh, nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, in the publish side, all the texts arrive in fade in. So I'll select the all container, I will go to entrance, and I will choose fade. Let's see how it works together now. Nice, right? Also, I want to give the dot more character, so I'll select dot. In this case, I will go to loop, I will go to add, and I will choose bounds. Nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how it's looking in preview. And let's see the original site. I don't know if you saw it, but there is kind of a small delay. So I will just select again the top. I will go to bounce. And if I go to adjust, I will give him 2-second delay on the think path.
We can go to don't show again.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, there. Great. I think it's quite the same.
super cool.
Yeah.
So let's continue.
Cool.
If I will scroll down, I have the air balloon that is feel like they flying natural on the air. So we're going to use two different animation, entrance and loop. So I will select the first one. I will go to entrance. I will choose float. And I will give him 5-second duration because I want him to have the animation will be more slow. I will back. And I will choose the loop. And I will choose green. Let's see how it's look.
Good.
Nice, right? Let's do it to the rest of the air balloon. So again, I will choose that one in the left. I will go to add. We choose float. I will choose 5 duration. And in this case, I will give him 0.5 delay because I don't want them to arrive in the same time. And I will go to loop. And I will go to, let's do it to the last one. So again, entrance, float, 5-second delay, and 5-second duration, and 2-second delay. And I will just go to the loop, and I will choose grid. Let's see how all of them work together now. What do you think, Buzz? It feels pretty natural.
Very smooth.
Yeah. If I will scroll down, as you can see, I have the section that doing overlapping on the section that's below. So I guess you all know already how to work with the Studio. So we just choose this section. I will go to design and I will change it from a position type default to sticky. And sticky. Let's see how it's work. And if I scroll down, as you can see, it's doing overlapping. Okay. Let's continue to scroll. So we arrive to the section with the title and the paragraph. As you can see, both of them have a scroll effect. The paragraph appear in reveal, and the title have stretch. Let's do it. That honoring in this line also.
Go to the other side.
Yeah.
Here.
Thank you, Buzz. So I will choose the paragraph.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will go to scroll. As like the other trigger, also here we build a special trigger, special preset that works very well with this trigger. In this case, I will choose reveal, and I will just change the direction from above to from below. Let's see how it's work. Nice, right? It's exactly like in the published site.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like I said before, we'll go to the title and we'll give him a scroll and we'll give him a stretch. So I will choose stretch. Let's see how it's work. So I scroll down and it's doing stretch. As you can see, it's not exactly the published site. Let's see the published site and I will expand the different. When I scroll here, it's doing the animation in the end of my scroll after the design I have in my site. And in my case, it's doing it's before. So it's really simple. I will just change it. So again, I will go to stretch. And as you can see, I have a category of animation pet. I will change it to its design, from its design. Let's see how it's look. Yeah, now it's exactly like in the published site. Nice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I continue to scroll and arrive to the something that's important to say, like Paz mentioned in the presentation, animation is part of the brand. So if I use in some component or some brand element in my site with animation, it's better to use it the same animation in the rest of the time.
Yeah, like we did in the text here.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think let's not repeat this section again and again to save some time. So let's move to the train.
Yeah, the train. So as you can see, when I scroll down, the train is coming to me. It's feel like old Hollywood movie, like Buster Keaton. I don't know if you saw the movie, that there is a big train that's coming to you. So let's do it. So I will just select train. Select train. And again, go to the scroll. I'll go to add. And I will go to expand. Don't know if you saw it, but I have toggle here that's going to preview, so I don't need all the time to go to preview. I can just scroll it here and check how it's work. I think the scale is come too much small. What do you think, Paz?
Yeah, you can change it to 40 maybe.
40, I think 40 is a little better. Let's see it now. Yeah, I think it's nice.
Looks good.
Okay. So let's continue. Okay, we arrived to my favorite section, to the bicycle. So as you can see, when I scroll down, the bicycle is across the background. So how we did it. So I just need to, of course, back to edit side, to select bicycle. To go to scroll again, and I will go to move. Okay, so I will choose exactly the direction that I want. And as you can see, I have distance. I will change it to percent. I think it's better to work with percent because, we are responsive, so it will look good in every screen. What do you think, 300?
Maybe. Yeah, right, 200.
200. Let's see how it's look.
Actually, it's driving the opposite. So I think it's good time to maybe I can
Yeah. So first of all, I will change it to from this design I explained before, and now let's see how it's work. Now it's fine. I think I explained a little bit more about two-way design and
yeah, of course. So as Santo mentioned before, of course, here we have this controller under the animation path, or from its design into its design. And from its design, meaning that my first frame is my design, and as I designed it inside editor, like this in this case. So from its design, and then my animation will play after this position. And you can see also here I have the controller of the animation area. These controllers are connected together, actually. So it assigns me the active area of the animation. For example, here I see the active area is from 50% to 100. So 50% represent the middle of the screen and 100 the top of the screen, meaning I'm scrolling and my animation will start when my element is in the middle of the screen and until the end of the screen. If I will go back and I will change it to be tools design and I would adjust it, you can see by default here the animation is from the 0% to 50%. Once again, 0% represent the bottom of the screen. So my animation will start from the bottom and it will move to my design, the layout, and 50% is the middle of the screen. So as Sandy said before, I need in this case to use from its design and from 50 to 100, it's great. You can also play around with this controller. You can set, let's say, if in this case, I will use 80%. So my animation would start later and more above the center of the screen.
Yeah, almost in the end.
Yeah, almost in the end. So let's go with 50% for this case. So I think it's good. And as you said before, we work with relative units. So around 200.
Yeah, 200 is fine.
Great. Direction. Good.
Thank you, Buzz.
Yeah.
So I just want to show you the preview mode. See how it's look. So like Buzz said, it will be in the middle of the screen until the end of the screen. Nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's continue. So we have the section with the car. We arrived to the end of the 19th century. So the animation is very simple, but I like it. As you can see, the light just doing fade in. So let's go to the section. I will choose the shape. I did it like small things, really cool. I just upload the shape, and to get the light, I will show you. Just use the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the shadow. As you can see, the toggle is on, and I use green, so it's giving the feeling of light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's back to the animation. So again, go to scroll, and I will just choose fade. I will do it also to the second one. Again, go to scroll, choose fade, and that's it, the magic. Okay, so I start to scroll, and the light is starting. Simple and nice. So let's continue to the section one before the end. As you can see, I have the plan that it feels like it's coming from the back, and also I have the cloud that moves in asymmetrically. So this is really simple. I will back to edit site. I will just select plan. I will go to scroll. In this case, I will choose tone. I think this is my favorite animation.
We know this is your favorite.
It's super cool. Okay. So as I said before, the toggle is on, so I can see how it's work.
You need to change the scale.
Yeah, let's change the scale. It's feel a little bit stupid that it's moved like this.
Yeah.
So what do you think? 40?
Perfect.
Yeah, let's do it. How it's work. Yeah. Super nice. Okay. The second thing that we have the cloud that I want them to move. So I want them to move vertically, of course. So I choose each one of them. I will go to parallax. And in parallax, as you can see, I have only this slider that it's mean the ability to choose if it will be faster or slower than my scroll. So I will just play with this. And I just want to say that automatically it's from 0 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the ability to change until the middle of the screen.
So it's from the bottom to the cross of the screen all the time.
Yeah, you're right, but like always. So I go to scroll. I will choose parallax. I just choosing number. It's not really important. I just want them to move differently, you know. It's totally random. This is one of the things that I love in this feature, that you can just play with things and you get like really super cool effects.
Yeah.
This one, we did this, and let's do it also to this one. Again, we choose scroll, we choose parallax, and actually, if it's in the middle, it's almost like sync to my scroll. Let's see how it's look now. So I move to preview, and the cloud just going up and down. Nice, right? Okay, guys, we arrived to the last section. This is more advanced, so Paz, can you take it from here?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Sam. So let's take a look of our last section, the horizontal scroll section. So as I'm scrolling, my section moved from the left, of course, to the right. And it's always in the middle of my screen, fitting in my screen. So let's take a look of how we did it in a few simple steps. Let's go to the editor. So we already built this layout. So scroll down. So I will open for this one the layers panel to see what we have here. So I have my space section. If I will go to my design tab, you can see I have here a section with 3 rows with CSS advanced grid. So it's very simple, actually. It's 3 rows. Each row is 100 ph, so it's very easy to remember.
It's like viewport height.
Yeah, viewport height. Viewport height, of course, it means the height 100. It will be equal to the height of the viewport. And then inside this section, I have my horizontal scroll container. Select it, and this is my design actually. And this inside the first row. If I will go here, you can see the width of my container is 200 VW, meaning 2 times the width of my viewport. And VW viewport width. So let's go for the page for a moment. And I want under the page to change the overflow content from hide to show. Now you can see all of my design if I will scroll. So you can see all of my design if I will scroll horizontally. For now, I will keep it with hide. So let's go back. And I will keep it with hide. Yeah, if I will select show, so I will have this horizontal bar at the bottom of my screen. I don't want it, so let's go with hide. So first thing, if I will go back to my side, all of this section is actually sticky to the screen. So let's do it as simple as we did before. So I will select my horizontal scroll container, and I want this container to be under position type sticky. Okay, it will update. Great. So let's go to preview. Now I'm scrolling, and as you can see here, I'm scrolling, and my section is in the middle of the screen. Nothing changed.
Nothing.
We will fix it. Yeah, we'll fix it in a moment. But we just only need now to move all of this container from the left to the right, to apply the animation actually, and that's why we have our second row here. So I'm scrolling down, and I have here my row. Inside my row and my second row, I have container. I called it trigger. So that will be the trigger for my animation. That's why I called it trigger. And yeah, that's a good choice. And let's apply the animation. So I will go to the interaction tab. I will select scroll. I will add some scroll animation. And here we have the animated element controller we haven't mentioned yet. So by default, every element animated cell. So for now, we want to change it to horizontal scroll. This is our design actually. So now the trigger for our design animation will be our container. And then I want it to, under animation path, to move from its design because this will be my first frame. And then it will move to there, right? I want to select that move. Then let's go to adjust. And my direction will be from the left to the right to 70 degrees. The distance will be 100 VW because the width of my container is 200 VW. So the rest of my design is 100 VW. So I want all of this to fit in my screen. So it's 100, and I will take the animation area from 0 to 100. So now, because this is my trigger actually, from the moment when the pin container comes into the screen, the animation will start. And then at the moment when the pin container will leave the screen, we will see it in a moment on the preview. The animation will stop. And this is why I have my third row, because I want to have some space for my animation to stop. So I think we're ready. That's it actually. So let's go to preview. Just before that, I want to take this container to the front. So right click, arrange to the front because I want to show you. I think it will be much clearer this way. So let's go to preview. So I'm scrolling. My section is sticky. This container comes into the screen. All of my section my container starts to move from the left to the right. At the moment when this container leaves the screen, my animation will stop, and that is good, right?
Wow, it's something.
Good. So I just need to disappear this container so I can take the opacity to 0, for example. And then it will be good. And I just one thing I want to animate this rocket, right?
Yeah, from left to right.
So let's go to interactions. Then I will select the scroll.
And again, you will go to move.
Yeah, again to move, but for then animated element themselves.
Yeah,
good. Animation path from its design. Again, this will be my first frame. So it's from its design. And then I will select move. I will adjust it. Now I will take this one to this direction, something like this. The distance, I want it to be relative to the movement of the background. So I will select also 100 VW. And the animation will play across all of my journey. So from 0 to 100. Let's go to preview.
Wow, it's super cool.
Nice.
Guys, you got horizontal scroll.
Yeah, I've got the horizontal scroll.
I was looking mobile.
So let's move to mobile. Few comments. And let's move to the mobile. And on mobile breakpoint or on any smaller breakpoint, actually, you're free to change everything. For example, if I change the animation for some reason from move to fade, so it would change on this breakpoint, and on the desktop, it will remain mode. Everything is cascading down by default from bigger breakpoints. And
until you're doing the overlapping.
Yeah, I think you're overriding your choice. You can also remove the animation from the breakpoint totally. And
I think, Baz, it's a good tip to say that always check your mobile.
Yeah, always check your mobile.
Checking mobile.
Although, if you're working with relative units, it will be better.
Yeah.
Course, so check your mobile and work with relative units. Yeah, I think it's good time for Q&A.
Yeah.
Right, Aaron.
Hi there. Thank you for that. That was very interesting and especially really helpful to see how you translate that to mobile. I see we had a lot of questions specifically about the mobile. Is there anything that you think we should highlight in more detail just about when you're doing that on desktop versus when you're doing that on mobile? Maybe because sometimes the way that you use a website on your phone, without a mouse, for example, can change the interactions.
Yeah, so I can take it.
Yeah.
So, like Paz said, we have full control when go to a different breaking point. So you can also change the trigger. For example, if by default, let's say that the train have entrance as a trigger, scroll as a trigger, you can change it to entrance. Wait a second, first we need to delete. And I can choose also have here expand, and I can get it automatically. So you can actually play with the trigger and get the right design that work well for you.
Yeah, and you always can totally customize really, like, for example, most of the time when you're designing for a desktop, let's say, let's remove this one. Let's say it's for animation. So when you design for a desktop, sometimes you design in horizontal way, like horizontal direction, and in mobile you want the other direction. So you're free to select any direction.
Yeah, it's happened a lot because the format of mobile, it's more vertical, so the animation will come from button or from top.
Yeah. So I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer to that. So we have a lot of questions to go through, which is great. Looks like, first of all, there's also great feedback on the site. Loving the design. And for everyone who's joining, I just want to point out that we shared a link in the chat where you can give us feedback on the webinar. And it's actually really important that we hear back from you because that will inform the next series of webinars that we create, other educational content that can be very valuable for you. So please do take a second, whether it's now, whether it's towards the end, and just fill out the the survey. We also have a lot of questions about the recording. So just so everybody's aware, this is being recorded. Everyone who attends will get an email with a link to the recording, and the recording will also be available on the Wix Studio Academy. It might take a day or so, but it will be there. So let's jump into some questions. I'm just going to pull up. So we have a lot of questions that are asked in different ways, but I'd say the bottom line is, how do animations affect the performance of the website?
So that's a great question. Actually, we designed in the team everything to work great. You don't need to worry about performance actually when you're adding animations. Of course, you always need to be aware to the format limitation to the web. So sometimes when you're having a complex layout or very heavy JPEGs in the background or PNG, so your website will be heavy, and then it will affect the frame rate of your website, and the animation will looks with a low frame rate, and it will looks a little bit glitchy. But it's not necessary because of the animation. Most of the time, it's because the site is actually heavy for other reasons. But as you can see in our website, we use a lot of animations and everything works great. So no reason to worry about performance. Yeah.
Great, good answer. So just like we're talking about performance, let's also talk about accessibility. So we have a few questions on that. how do animations affect your site's accessibility?
That's also a good question, of course. So I think the best practice is to first design the layout as we did here. So we designed everything, and then we add the animation into that, and then you're safe. Like if you add the animation, your layout will look like as you designed the layout, as you designed everything before you add the animation. If you apply the reduce motion function, so you don't need to worry about accessibility issues at all. Just make sure you place all of your elements inside the screen. You don't place anything outside of the screen that and the screen reader will be able to read everything. And if you place something outside of the screen, you need to do some extra work in order to let the screen reader to read your content. So
I think also like the question before about the performance, before the animation, you need to decide will be built well. I mean, like the Z index need to be well. The JPEG, the PNG need to be in normal size. And if you build everything well, the animation is just extra effects. It will work.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. We still have some more questions. So about the actual elements that you can animate. So you showed a lot of different elements on the canvas that you can animate. Can you really animate absolutely anything that's on the canvas?
I will take it.
You can take it.
Yeah, that's in the question. We can animate almost everything, I think, and we can't animate maybe third-party application like restaurant or stores or things like this, like widgets. But almost all of the elements you can animate. So, short answer is yes.
90% of the element you can animate.
And I think on that, and you may have shown this, can you add more than one animation to a single element?
So for now, you can use entrance and loop together, but the scroll cannot work with entrance and loop for now.
Yeah, so we probably go here to the panel. You can see it. I can add an entrance animation for this, for example, and then I can add also a loop animation. But if I want to combine it with a scroll, I will need to remove my animations. So yeah, that's it.
And on this about the combining, because we also have a question, and I think you showed this, can you apply the effect to more than one element at the same time? I think the way you did the car lights may have shown that.
Yeah, we did it actually. You can do it if you're stack, like with stack, because here, like we applied the animation on the parent element of two other elements. But currently, you can't like select multiple elements and apply the animation. But we have it in mind.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, we'll do it in the future, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, but you're saying that the stack, when you use a stack to combine the elements, you can then apply it to.
Yeah, if you use stack or use container, you can apply the animation on the parent element, and then the animation will apply on all the other element inside. So that's correct.
Okay, great. So we also have a lot of questions about the breakpoints. So one of the questions is it possible to override the settings just for the mobile breakpoint? So I know you said, for example, that you might need to make something vertical instead of horizontal. You know, there's a question if you can actually turn the effects off on mobile. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so as I said, of course, you can do everything on mobile. It's totally separated. It's totally split from desktop if you override it. So you can delete everything, remove everything, change everything, use different type of animations.
You can also choose not to have at all animation in desktop and to have it on in mobile.
Yeah, you have totally full freedom. Yeah. So
You can do mobile first.
Great. So another question, which I'll admit, one of the first times I was using Wix Studio, this was something I had to learn. What exactly is the difference between sticky and pinned?
Okay, that's a good question. If I go here to the editor. So sticky is actually relative to the parent. Am I right?
Yeah.
So it's relative to the parent, and pin will be relative to all of the page. So if I go here, that's sticky, that's pin. Sticky is relative to the parent, meaning if I will apply sticky on this element, its parent is the section, like the section with mountains. So it will be sticky to the section. It will stop in the edge of the section. If I will apply the pin, so it will be sticky across all of my page. It will be pinned to my page. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's it.
And I think maybe that what explained, would you say that that applies to the balloon section? So we have a question specifically about the balloon section on the site. So you set the section to sticky, but how did the black box section scroll with the text?
That's
Actually, this section. It's actually this a section. So it's just section that doing overlapping on the section that's below. We just split it, and this is with zero opacity, so it's feel like it's a container, but it's actually a section.
so yeah. We have here as Santa said, it's just a section with zero opacity on this set.
As you can see in the background.
Yeah, this one is overlapping and it's behind. So when you're use sticky for section, it's also important to make sure that you use the right range. So if I will move this to the front, for example, I will see nothing because it's in the front. So it's sticky in the front on all of the time. So make sure the order of the layers is the right order.
Right order, of course.
So you want it to be back. So if something like this happens, make sure your order is the right order.
It's happened to me a lot, because I forget to put it in the right
Right.
layer.
Yeah. You need to do some magic, that. Yeah.
I see. So you arrange the order on the canvas, and then when you talk about the opacity, that's something you're doing in the inspector panel, right?
Yeah. The opacity is from here. So we have this section of the air balloon. So this is our design for the right cell. We have a black background, and for the left cell, we have a zero opacity background. So this is transparent when it's overlapping. So this part overlapping, and this is transparent. So you see the air balloons behind. So that's what happened. Yeah. And all the other things also overlapping the air balloons. So, yeah.
Great. I'm just wondering if you guys also can talk about page transition animations. We have a question about that. Is that something that you've worked on?
Yeah, we're talking about to have a more ability of animation between pages.
Yeah. I think it's good to say that all of this system is just the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot of plans to add for you, like a lot of new ability, new capability using animation, like page transition, and more, and many cool other stuff I can reveal at the moment. But yeah, we have also page transition. So that's it.
Awesome. So actually, we went through a ton of questions, which is great. You guys gave really great answers. I think what's also really helpful is when you're showing exactly what you're doing on the canvas, what you're doing on the inspector panel. So that was really nice too. dissect the animations and get into it in detail. Let me ask you a question just for everybody who's watching. Where can we go for inspiration when we want to think about where to add animations on our site? What do you think?
I use a lot of awards. I really love the site there. It's always like, things that it's really inspire me.
And actually now with this system, you can do almost everything you see in our, like it's crazy. Huh? You can do crazy stuff. You have the layers of the animated element in the animation area, and combining all of these layers together and customizations and adjustments. You can do almost everything you see out there on the web. And yeah, the award sites are
it's good. It's a good place to see
inspiration.
new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say awards is great. And for anybody else who's looking for inspiration, so first of all, we mean awards where it's AWWWARDS. I also think the Webby Awards, when you look at the winners and the runners up, they offer a lot of great sites for inspiration as well. There's a lot of sites in there doing cool things with animations. So we have covered all the questions that we got. So first of all, thank you very much for all your amazing questions. We're happy to see that, this was a very interesting topic for you. I think also once you get in there and you start building your sites and you start playing around with animations, I think you'll be able to see really the depth of all the really cool things that you can do on Wix Studio. So one more time, we just shared in the chat the link to the survey. So again, we'd love for you to fill this out. This will help us think about the next round of webinars that we can create for you. So again, make sure you let us know what you thought, what you want us to do differently next time. And we look forward to seeing you next time. You'll be able to see all the webinars on the Wix Studio Academy. Another thing that I can recommend is on the Wix Studio site, if you go to the community section, there are a lot of creators and experts and professionals there sharing what they're doing, answering questions. Go and share your site as well. We'd love to see what you're working on. So again, thank you for joining. And because you are coming from all over the world, maybe some of you should go to bed now. Maybe some of you are starting your day, but thank you for taking the time and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.